Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to talk about two films with the same name. Eaten Alive from Tobe Hooper and Eaten Alive by Umberto Lenzi. So, the Umberto Lenzi, I'm going to go in the order of when they were released. Eaten Alive by Tobe Hooper was sort of a follow-up to his Texas Chainsaw Phenom. Everyone knows that movie, it's great. And I don't think people kind of knew what to expect with this one. It came out in 1976, and the main plot of the story is this guy on the cover with the weird mouth, who you may recognize from other films. He has this rundown hotel in the middle of a swamp, and he has an alligator or a crocodile. I always mix up which is which. And it's living in like a pond or a moat next to his motel, and he proceeds to be a pretty crappy person, get people in the hotel that are, families or whatever, and he kills them or throws them to the crocodile beforehand, or afterwards, after he kills them, and the crocodile proceeds to eat them. And he's sort of a nut job, and there's like an overarching story with a prostitute whose family is looking for her. There's a family there now with kind of an unhinged dad, and he's going after them. So he's kind of like a lunatic, like who runs a motel and is feeding people to this alligator. That's kind of the gist of the story. You don't see a lot of movies set in swamps besides something like maybe Victor Crowley, Hatchet. So it was kind of cool. I enjoyed this one. It has a little bit of a grimy feeling to it. Similar to Texas Chainsaw in that regard. A little more comedic. Texas Chainsaw is definitely a little more grotesque and ugly of a movie. But it's fun. It has a bunch of people in it that you're going to recognize, like Marilyn, is it Burns from Texas Chainsaw, the blonde? It has Robert Englund in it for a pretty good amount of time. He was obviously Freddy Krueger. Marilyn Burns. And William Finley from Phantom of the Paradise, which my buddy Steven loves, but I have yet to see because I'm not into musicals. So this is a good one. If you haven't seen Eaten Alive and you want something with a little sprinkle of Texas Chainsaw done by Tobe Hooper, the godfather of that, then I would recommend this Eaten Alive. It's not phenomenal or going to blow your socks off, but it's a good movie, and it's a fun little horror movie. We then have Umberto Lenzi's Eaten Alive, which is a cannibal film about this woman who hires I think it's a Vietnam vet, to go with her to the jungles of Guinea to find her missing sister, who is there under the leadership of a cult. And they supposedly use a lot of footage from other cannibal films and bastardize them and put them in this movie. There's a lot of animal cruelty with, I think, a snake getting killed, a monkey getting eaten alive, a crocodile who gets cut up while it's alive. So there's definitely some really gross stuff in this film that if you have any issues with animals being killed, it will bother you. It's definitely bothersome. It's something I can get through. Turtles actually bother me a lot because I have turtles my whole life. But I digress. It's kind of harsh to see any which way. The movie's decent. It definitely could have used a little more, I guess, action at points. It does slow down at points. But there's some cannibal women or tribes women running around half naked. There's the cannibal people flipping out and raping and killing people. And then there's this story over the top with the cult, with the cannibals, who's being led by a Jonestown Massacre type of figure. So it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting movie, and I like it. It's not something for everyone, especially with the animal cruelty, and because the story is a little ugly in points with the tribesmen and the cult stuff going on. But it's a cool movie. It could have used a little bit more of a bombacity with the ending and with the story, but it definitely is a good film. So I enjoyed it. Umberto Lenzi also did Nightmare City, which is one of my favorite zombie movies. It's really silly. So two very different films head to head. I like both. If you like more mainstream horror, Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive. If you want more grungy, kind of graphic, weirdo, underground horror, Umberto Lenzi's Eaten Alive. You can do much worse. They're both pretty fun. So let me know, guys, which Eaten Alive you like better. They're both pretty cool in their own ways. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.